Welcome to Newsreel 23. On Sunday the 15th of January, Burnley rolled out the red carpet for the film premiere Bank of Dave, the story of back local entrepreneur David Fishwick, who set up his own bank in Burnley in 2011. David's story of his battle with the UK's banking industry attracted interest from American film company Netflix, and the film started shooting in early 2022, with an all-star cast including actors Rory Kinnear as Dave and Joe Hartley, who plays Dave's wife Nicola. The film premiere was held at Burnley's Real Cinema, and when Dave arrived, I asked him how it felt to have a movie made about him.
I've never ever been involved in anything quite like it, and it's just so special. Not just for me, for Burnley. Real Burnley people are coming, real people out of the movie, real people that were involved.
Guests began arriving from mid-afternoon, among them one or two well-known celebrities, along with media representatives from the BBC and ITV television and local radio. Local bakery and butchers, Hafner's, had commissioned a special Benny and hot pot pie for the VIPs and guests to enjoy. Once the screening had started, I spoke to Andrew White, the Real Centre manager, to ask him how the event had gone.
So it's been a busy Sunday for you?
It has been very, very busy for me, yes. Yes. Really been enjoying the premiere of Bank of Dave. Obviously met a lot of lovely people. Obviously, and Netflix obviously put a great job on making sure that it went smooth and great.
Has the cinema ever done a premiere?
We have done a premiere before, but not to this magnitude. Obviously, this is a very, very big premiere for us, and obviously we're really happy that Dave's obviously chosen us to bring it here.
And a final word from the cast and crew of Bank of Dave.
Lovely, thank you. One this way, please. For Burnley.
Living the dream. Say your word, Joe. Fantastic.
That's going in.
It's Saturday the 4th of March in Colne, where everyone was waiting for the arrival of the Winter Bloom Light Parade, featuring local bands, musicians and the spectacular giant illuminated lanterns. Organised by Padiham Bridge-based Handmade Productions, the lanterns were created by local community groups and schools in Pendle and featured giant puppets, animals, insects and flowers. It was a hugely popular event, and one that's sure to return again next year.
It's the Flying Scotsman centenary this year. The engine came into service in February 1923. Here, within sight of Pendle Hill at Hellifield Station, the Flying Scotsman is due to arrive within the hour. This world-famous engine is making several appearances this year on quite a few heritage railways throughout the country. It will stop and take on water for around 20 minutes before it carries on its journey further into Yorkshire. Two members of Burnley Film Makers are here to record the event for the annual club newsreel.
Here it is.
So, let's enjoy the visit and soak up the atmosphere. This will be repeated throughout the country in 2023.
After several months in its development, on Monday the 27th of March, a new sensory walkway opened in Burnley town centre. Charter Walk Centre manager is Debbie Hernan.
This is the opening of our sensory garden. So here at Charter Walk we've been inclusive for quite some years now, trying to develop it that every customer can come and have a great experience at the shopping centre. So this is the next step. So we've tried to make a calm, relaxing area where people can spend time and enjoy the facilities and take time out if it's too busy in the centre when they're doing the shopping.
Ably assisted by children from Cherry Falls School, the designer of the sensory walkway, Dr. Jackie Jackson, opened the facility.
I've been involved with all of this because our wonderful Debbie here decided that she was wanting to change this space and budding Burnley into something that was bigger and brighter than it had all been doing with such an amazing job. So, because I can't talk very much, I'm not going to say very much, but I would like to say thank you to all of the beautiful kids here for coming along. Right, so I would like to say the sensory walkway is now open, and thank you kids.
After the unveiling ceremony, I asked Jackie about the sensory walkway and how it was put together.
So for kids that are wanting to plant, to be able to grow, you can have the wheelchairs can go under it. That's why it's this height.
Oh, I see, right.
So, and that's why. That's why. So you can either stand up and lean on it if you can't, and that's the reason why this is like this. And the same with all the planters. They tend to be wheelchair height, which because I'm designing them myself, I already knew this. These and all of the plants, they have a sensory aspect to them. So this hasn't been planted yet. if you see that we've got lavender. So, you know, they were expecting these to be picked. And the same with this. This will make a rustling noise. So the benches are curved.
Yeah.
So that it's everything is sensory in some way, so you can touch it, feel it. And because my specialism is autism, then people with autism tend not to like just angular spaces. So this is a walkway that's designed to be able to get you from A to B in a different way.
Tell us about the bird song, Jackie.
Well, the bird song, and it can be changed. It will just make the whole of this area feel a bit more like you're in nature.
Yeah.
So when everything is growing, you've got to use a bit of imagination at the moment. But when everything is growing properly, then you can just feel more like you're immersed in things. So you've got things moving around in the wind, you've got the bird song. And in the evening, of course, you've got the colour changing light. So you can still see this, and it can still be effective in the evening when the shops aren't open.
Padiham has gained quite a reputation for attracting artists, following the success of the annual Painting Padiham competition, which takes place in May. The Padiham Townscape Heritage Scheme was funded by the National Lottery, which commissioned 2 artists to create 2 giant wall murals on Church Street and Station Road. Artists Chris Butcher and Gavin Renshaw set to work in mid-March to create the 2 giant wall murals, which were finished the following month. Chris Butcher's work on Church Street was inspired by Padiham's old trams and Gawthorpe Hall's textile collection. Gavin Renshaw's Station Road mural was based on the Whit Walks and the annual street parades of the past. Burnley Film Makers caught up with Gavin as he was putting the final touches on Station Road in April.
And this particular image that you've created, can you just explain a little bit more about it?
Well, it was really after kind of spending a lot of time in the archive, the Padiham archive, which is like a fabulous resource based at the town hall, and really just going through their archive of old photographs and the histories of Padiham, and finding the kind of all the old photos really that are based around all the different parades and processions, whether that's like the miners' parades or the Whit Walks, or all the other processions that Padiham's had over the years. And I love the fact that there was then people were kind of parading through the streets. I kind of love street scenes, and I love it when people are using the streets in one way or another, and I think it's a lovely tradition, and I love banner culture, so that's a really fabulous thing, and so I was drawn to it really, and then I just did lots of drawing, and lo and behold, I got this image, and I thought it'd be great to have it coming down the street that it kind of sits adjacent to.
It's a credit to you. Thank you.
I love it. I'm really pleased with it. Really pleased with it.
It's good. Is it close to finish, Gavin?
It's quite close. I'm like I keep saying, I'm at the tinkering phase where I just keep finding things that I'm not too happy with and just tweaking it, and then probably deciding against it and going back and changing it again. But I quite like this stage. You're just kind of adding little bits and making sure that you're fully happy with it. So
it's a really good job. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Yeah.
In April, Burnley Film Makers were in Skipton to celebrate 250 years of the Leeds-Liverpool Canal. Here's Mike Clark.
Hello, I'm Mike Clark from the Leeds-Liverpool Canal Society, and we've just brought our heritage boat Kennet from Bingley to Skipton. It's the 8th of April, and it's exactly 250 years since the first boat sailed from Bingley to Skipton, and we are commemorating that event with our historic boat, the Kennet. We're a voluntary group that we try to promote the history and heritage of the canal, and we use the boat in particular. It's got displays on board. We have been in Burnley at the Weaver's Triangle for events, and we travel all the way along the canal. We have to do Yorkshire sometimes, but we try to be fair about the amount of time we spend. And so we've had this very successful day. We've had 12 boats come along with us at least. I think we picked up a few more on the way. And so it's been a highly enjoyable day commemorating the birth of the Leeds and Liverpool Canal.
We caught up with Mike at Gannow Tunnel in Burnley and asked him about how important the canal was in Burnley's development.
And originally the proposed route of the canal wouldn't have come through Burnley, as it was quite an insignificant place at that time. 20 years later, when they came to build in this area, they realised that East Lancashire was going to be an important industrial area, and they moved the line of the canal further south, so it went through Burnley and through Altham and on its way to Blackburn. And it really opened up the canal. That coal was the reason for changing the line to serve, in the 1790s, the coal pits at Altham. But then coal developed around Burnley as they were able to go to deeper pits. And so it became an important part in the early 19th century. Mid-19th century, we get the development of the condensing steam engine, and that's when all the mills begin to cluster all around the canal, even after the railway was built, because the canal provided condensing water for the steam engines to make them more efficient. And it continued in that way right through until the First World War. In fact, in the 1870s, the canal was taking trade off the railways. The canal was such an efficient carrier, and it was, for that reason, really vital to the whole development of Burnley.
Padiham held its annual Mayfair on the first of this year's bank holiday weekends. Despite a mixed weather forecast, hopes were high for a good attendance. Over the 3 days there were several familiar and popular events for all ages. There was a small but well turned out display of classic cars. And the Birds of Prey section is always popular with youngsters and adults alike.
He'll step back onto it, but don't stroke him. That's all right. Yeah. So he'll sit there and you can have pictures taken there. Step back, Jeff.
Had a big surprise during the night.
A particular favourite, despite iPads and Xboxes, is the puppet show at the Higham Hippodrome.
So tall that it was in the clouds. Oh wow! Look at this beanstalk! It's huge! I wonder where it ends. I think I'll climb up and find out.
Oh Jack, be careful, do be careful!
He jumped onto the beanstalk and began climbing. He climbed up all day until he reached the clouds.
Pupils from St John's School Higham brought the weekend to a close with their display of country dancing.
It must be 40 years now. The Mayfair's perhaps a new one because we used to have the Easter exhibition before, but it's all joined together now, and yeah, so we're having a good time. It's great.
How important are these events to the village nowadays?
Very important. Good for the villagers. It's good to get together with all the villagers, and also it's good for the church and the village hall. It makes quite a bit of money for the good cause.
Well, it's been quite pleasant today because the sun's been shining. That makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
Preparations for the coronation of King Charles on the 6th of May began early in East Lancashire. Official buildings and shops were decorated in flags and bunting for Coronation Day. On Saturday, Coronation Day, Burnley held an artisan street market, and in St James Street a large marquee was erected, serving afternoon teas at £1.50. Meanwhile in Nelson, a large screen had been erected in the town centre, screening the coronation service live. On Sunday, street parties were held, like this one in Briarfield following the morning service. And in Colne, celebrations began early, with clog dancers, a street fair, and music provided by the Accrington Pipe Band. Burnley FC's season ended with victory over Cardiff City at Turf Moor, and was followed by the presentation of the Championship trophy. Burnley had won the league with a record 101 points from their 46 games. And to honour the Clarets' great achievement under new manager Vincent Company, the Town Council put on a reception at the Town Hall that was followed by an open-top bus tour to Turf Moor, where thousands of fans lined the route.
The popular Painting Padiham 2023 event returned on Saturday the 13th of May. Artists were able to compete for cash prizes by creating an original piece of art depicting Padiham and its people over the course of one day. This exciting event is open to artists both professional and amateur using any style of media except photography. The artists are asked to select a location within a 2-kilometre radius of Padiham Town Hall, including Gawthorpe Hall grounds, painting outside or within local premises. Each artist has a number on display to help visitors locate and find out more about the artists taking part. Today, the artists registered at the event hub in Padiham Town Hall with a blank canvas before moving out to their chosen location. Their completed work will be submitted at the end of the day and judged over the course of the following week. There will be 3 main cash prizes plus a People's Choice Award decided via social media, which is to be announced on Saturday the 20th of May at the Picture House Gallery. This is followed by an exhibition of all the artists' submitted works for a further 3 weeks. Visitor guides, including maps of the events, are available for visitors to see where the artists will be located for the event and watch the artwork being created live in front of them.
Our first prize winner this year is John Circuit for his wonderful painting of the now derelict Globe Cinema.
The idea that a hospice was needed in Pendle was first raised back in the early 80s by local solicitor Miss Mural Jobling. After 7 years of fundraising, an advice and counselling service was opened at the former Marsden Hospital in Burnley in 1988. Under Miss Jobling's leadership, Pendle side progressed to the purpose-built building we see today at Reedley. Now, on May the 20th, 2023, the hospice celebrates its 35th anniversary with a special event, Memories on the Lake. The event, sponsored by Alderson and Horan, funeral directors, was held in Thompson's Park, Burnley. It was an opportunity for people to remember lost loved ones by releasing a lantern on the park lake in their memory. There was also a sponsored 5-kilometre walk, starting from the hospice and following the Leeds-Liverpool Canal to Thompson's Park. Around 150 people took part in the walk, raising funds for the hospice. In the park, entertainment was provided by the Pendle Community Orchestra, the Valley Aloud Community Choir and the Trodin String Quartet. There were more than 1,000 people in the park, and during the evening over 600 lanterns were released onto the lake. It was a lovely May evening, a very emotional evening, an evening of remembrance and reflection.
The weekend of 27th and 28th of May saw the opening of the new Havoc bike park of mountain bike downhill tracks. It is located on the Portsmouth-Calderdale and Cliviger-Burnley boundary. Seen in the background is the conifer plantation where the original Havoc bike park was located. A digger was used where possible, but a lot of the tracks were hand dug starting in 2022. The jump track was nearly ready, but the hot weather and lack of water at the top had put them behind. The hill is too steep to ride up, so the bikes are pushed back up. At some point in the future, they hope to be able to transport them up. On the Sunday, sponsorship helped give prizes for a popular race challenge. Another contest was a whip-off, where the rider gets the bike to go sideways.
Set in the beautiful Pendle countryside, the Clarion House on Ginny Lane, Newchurch, is the last surviving Clarion house in the country. It continues to thrive and is still very popular, especially with the older generation. Open every Sunday, it's a good stopping off place for light refreshments, and it's the cheapest brew in the country.
To come here as a little girl. My dad were in Coventry on munitions. It must have been wartime. I used to come here with my mother.
Did you?
When I was, 9, 10 and teenager as well. We came to Clarion a lot. I think it was open for something like labour.
When the surrounding towns, Nelson, Colne, Briarfield, even Burnley, were full of mills and factories, people who worked in them, the conditions were so poor that on a Sunday, which was their only day off, they needed to come out into the fresh air, cycle or walk. And there was a lot of tradition of walking and cycling. And the ILP in Nelson decided that they wanted to have somewhere for people to congregate and meet, have a cup of tea and have a chat and just enjoy the countryside. So they had a couple of rented places in the area, and they weren't big enough because so many people came. So they borrowed £350 from the Weavers' Union in Nelson, and they bought this field and they built this building in 1912, and it's been going ever since. Now we're carrying on that tradition. We still open every Sunday from about 10:30 till about 3:30 or 4, and people still come. They walk and they ramble, and obviously they're not in the same conditions that they were then, but they just appreciate and love the countryside, and it's in such a beautiful spot, and we try to keep the grounds as natural as possible. We had a pond years ago which we puddled and with clay, and over the years it's cracked and the water's gone, So we decided last year to put in a liner, and we've slowly been regenerating the pond, and we are so happy that it's finally coming to fruition. So we've got tadpoles and newts and plants and all sorts of wildlife. But it's the point is to try and keep it as natural as possible so that people can come here and enjoy the countryside and enjoy each other's company, really, and that's what it's all about.
It was the 18th of June and the day of this year's Colne Soapbox Derby, an event for serious engineers as well as fun-loving competitors. At the top of the hill and in full view of the hundreds of spectators was the ski slope awaiting the first of the contestants. The purpose of this was to give each car a good start as well as a thrill for those watching. Milling around were enthusiasts, either trying to see the cars or searching for a good view of the racing. In the paddock, all the cars were assembled to have their last checks and be readied for their turn. Doting owners and builders were on hand to explain and offer advice. The variety of designs was quite outstanding. Eventually, it was time for the start, with the first cars on their way. The crowds were protected by the safety barriers, and there was a video system so that everyone could see what was happening all over the course. Some entries were unable to gather enough speed and needed a bit of a push to get them going. There was also the odd upset. However, once righted, the car successfully completed the course. What an excellent day for the spectators, supported charities, and of course, the engineers.
think it's going exceedingly well, despite the weather. Yeah, we were a little worried yesterday, but I think at this point we've got as many people as we had last year. It's really busy. It doesn't seem to be putting anybody off, so all is good. An opportunity for people to experience getting creative. So there are lots and lots of workshops. There's a music stage with lots of really good performers. We've got wandering performers. I don't know if you've seen the giant sloths yet. Okay, they're going down really well.
August Bank Holiday weekend, and it was time for Hyam's annual Scarecrow Festival. The judge this year was Pendle's new mayor, Councillor Brian Newman, and the Lady Mayoress, Mrs Lynn Newman.
we are, yeah. We're both easy feeling, now we're all right.
There could only be one subject for this year: royalty. There were several nods to Charles's elevation to the throne. And even Randy Andy put an appearance in. Getting a little damp under the armpits. But others remembered the Queen's tea party with Paddington.
You would like a marmalade sandwich? I always need one for emergencies. So do I. I keep mine in here.
Back in the throne room of the Houses of Parliament, Victoria was ready to receive her government.
They've got the music on there.
Oh, we've got the right music.
Oh, yeah. Vicky's throne.
That's good, isn't it?
One is not.
You've joined a long list of distinguished mayors over the years that have done the judging. How does it feel now that you've finally got round them all?
It's absolutely tremendous. Never thought in my life that I would personally end up here doing this prestigious job. I am thoroughly enjoying it, and I've met some wonderful people, and today is no exception.
So is it going to be a difficult choice for you?
Definitely. Yeah, cheese and onion pie, potato pie. Yeah.
Well, jigger the competition, get the pies out.
Yeah.
After much deliberation, the mayor announced the results.
The winners of today's Scarecrow Festival, the first, second and third prize. So over to you, Mr Mayor.
Right, thank you very much everybody. I don't know about you, but we've had a very, very difficult time trying to choose who. Everybody's put a lot of effort into what they've done. If we could, we'd give everybody a prize, I think. But anyway, this is how it goes. Right, and the third prize goes to the Prince, the Purple Rain.
Yeah, I like it. That's good. Prince and Purple Rain, isn't it?
Yeah. The second prize is 55, and it's a royal family.
Yes. That's the four olds, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And the first prize, and I think is well deserved, is a Royal Court gesture.
Welcome, welcome. That's okay. Welcome, sir. My brother and I are loyal jesters to King Henry.
Right.
It's a simple arrangement. We keep him entertained, he keeps us alive.
And you keep your head.
Absolutely. Here we go.
Yes,
Excellent, yeah. I'm enjoying my time, and we started 23rd of May this year, and so far attended more than 50 or 60 invitations here. And it's not just in Burnley. We are going up to Manchester today. Tomorrow we are going towards Ormskirk.
I had the opportunity to go to many different events within Burnley, some outside Burnley, represent Burnley. So I think it's a great privilege to be a mayoress. I have been involved in event organisations for our charities.
Yeah, of course I'm enjoying meeting new people and meeting all the mayors from the northwest and even Greater Manchester as well. So all the mayors are doing and their mayoresses doing a fantastic job.
Yes, we went to a fire alarm, but the mayor's come because it's 999 emergency day today. It's just recognition for emergency services. It's just a special day. We don't do anything special, we just have a 2-minute silence. For us it's to reflect on past members. We've just lost 3 members in the fire service, retired members.
Where we find them in Italy, in Sardinia, they find them in China, they find them in a place in the United States of all places.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's talking about the good healthy living, and they just keep active, so keeping active is the key. Yeah.
Well, I'll try my best,
yeah.
So far,
you must watch it.
So far, so good, yeah.
I'll get on to it. It's brilliant.
Sorry, sir.
So the Burnley Bid are hosting the car show for 2023. It's extended from last year. We've gone further on now and got, I think it was 80 cars registered to come on today. Just trying to get more people into Burnley, let them see what a great place it is.
In early September, the Burnley Empire Theatre Trust held a series of open days to show the restoration work done inside the old theatre.
Morning.
Morning, Mr. Mayor. After Burnley's mayor, Councillor Arif Khan, had donned hard hat and high vis, the first groups were invited in. And to tell us all about the progress made was Burnley Theatre Trust's Sophie Gibson.
So here we are, and feel free to take any photos as well, whilst I'm here. So I think the first comment was, wow, it's big. I don't think you realise how big it is until you stood there, and I've seen Richard stood near the stage, and that stage goes up another 2 Richards sort of thing. It's humongous. So we're here in the Burnley Empire, built in 1894, purpose-built music hall of varieties. It was built for the people of Burnley so they could experience a variety of world-class entertainment. Because at the time there were other different theatres, venues, but there wasn't a variety of music hall. So it was William Charles Horner, who was a lifelong member of Burnley Mechanics. He was the operating manager of the Victoria next door, and he said, we need this venue. So he championed for the Burnley Empire to be built. At the time, it was a disused mill, this site, and part of the walls are made up from the original factory. And so he championed for that, yep.
What was the Victoria? So that was right next door?
Next door. So the Victoria Opera House, which you can imagine, it had the ballets and opera.
No, but didn't have the variety?
No, not the music hall variety stuff, no.
Didn't have the working class?
No, so that's what he really championed, and same as today, we say Burnley needs this venue, a big large capacity venue for people to stop by and experience all of this different type of entertainment that just doesn't come here because it's not the size. So that was one of the reasons why we were championed for it to be restored, but also just the fact of the building. You've got all this architectural importance When it was built in 1894, it was then dubbed the prettiest theatre in the north. But as time moved on and other places were sort of getting more up to speed, they decided to redesign it in 1911. It was Bertie Crew that redesigned it. It was quite dramatic what he did. He changed the circle, which impacted the seating capacity. At one point, I believe it was around 2,000 the capacity of the Empire, but it decreased when he altered the stage. The circle, because his thing, you know, it was decorative plasterwork, all of this that he embedded and added onto the Burnley Empire to just make it that much more special, the real wow factor. So the Burnley Empire, it was listed in 1996, I believe, and that was mainly for its decorative features by Bertie Crew. So it's a Grade 2 listed building and principal listed because of the decorative plaster. At one point, Lancashire had about 20 different large capacity venues, historic venues. It's just the one that remains, which is this one that was stood in the Burnley Empire.
The restoration work on the Empire continues and is supported by a growing number of volunteers, raising funds to see this rare gem, hopefully one day soon, host plays, shows, concerts, films and variety once again. On the 12th of September, following a 2-year build, Burnley's new multi-screen Real Cinema, part of the £23 million Pioneer Place leisure development, had its official opening. The new cinema offers the latest in entertainment technology and comfort for cinema goers, as manager Andrew White explains.
So obviously we've really upgraded the cinema. We have laser digital projectors now and a humongous 7.1 sound system. So the quality of the picture and the sound is phenomenal now. It's real top state of the art. Our seating's been changed again, so obviously our new rear lounge, which was formerly the VIP lounge, no longer has a relief recliners. It has a seat like a lounge seating. Our new standard screens have all had new seats in there, and the decor is obviously very, very similar to Burnley 1. But obviously it's been upgraded and made new. We also have cream and cones, which is a new asset to the concession counters, which is the gelato ice cream, and obviously everything's all been done.
How many screens are there in the new cinema?
So there's 7 screens, so 6 of them are standard screens and one of them is the rear lounge. So we've lost 2 screens from the old cinema.
And when did you go open to the public?
So we opened to the public on Friday, obviously this week. So we'll close the old cinema down on Tuesday. So obviously a bit of a sad day for that, because obviously I've been there for 10 years in the old cinema building. So it's very strange to see that obviously close for the last time, but very excited for the new one.
Very excited indeed. Well done, Andrew. Okay. And best of luck with your new cinema.
Thank you.
During the evening, I managed to catch up with the Mayor of Burnley, Councillor Arif Khan, and asked him how the project had come about.
Well, to be honest, I'm over the moon today, and I'm so happy that this project is happening. We can see with our own eyes that a real cinema, which with the help of the Burnley Borough Council, we helped to relocate this cinema into this prime spot here, because real cinema used to be on the other side of the town, really out of the way. But now it's right in the center of the town, a big development of £25 million. It's all funded by the Burnley Borough Council with the help of Lancashire County Councils and other small organisations. And with this cinema, we managed to attract some fast food chains as well, like Nando's, Starbucks, and some more on their way. So I'm so happy for this project to take off the ground here.
It's looking good, isn't it?
Great, fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Something really, really good for the future generation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Hope you have a good evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
St Peter's is the parish church of Burnley, and documents record a church has been on this site since the year 1122. On Saturday the 16th of September, the church held a Heritage Open Day, and Burnley historian and author Roger Frost explained what the event was all about.
This is Heritage Open Day, as celebrated by St Peter's Church. Of course, they couldn't do it in the COVID years, but in recent years, this is the second one of the revival. They open the church, invite the cultural and historical organisations to bring exhibitions. So the Civic Trust is here, the Historical Society, the Weavers Triangle are here, and the church itself has got its own exhibitions. And the idea is to invite the people of Burnley not only to share in the history of the church, but also to share our knowledge of the history of the town. My part has been to show people around the church and to tell them about the early history of Burnley, which is, Burnley isn't a big town, but it has a remarkable history, all of which is encapsulated in this church.
St Peter's Anglican Church is a Grade II listed building, and its colourful stained glass windows are some of the finest in the country. St Peter's Parish Church and its 900-year history made it the perfect location to host Burnley's rich history and diverse heritage, whose story continues.
The last Saturday in September sees the annual Long Sheep Breeders Association show at Holme in Cliviger. The show dates back to 1839. The Long Sheep breed is over 200 years old and is found predominantly in the Lancashire and Yorkshire Pennines. They are now classed as a rare breed. Besides the show, the annual Thieveley Pike Fell Race took place. The course is 4.3 miles and with 1,310 feet of climbing. Seen in the early part of the race, Joshua Holgate of Blackburn Harriers is opening up a good lead. Nobody caught him and he had a lead of over 3 minutes by the finish. Back at the show, judging is taking place in various categories. The association were pleased with the fantastic turnout of exhibitors. Overall champion of the day was entered by Tracy Pickard with her aged tup.
There we go.
One, can you see that one stuck to that way?
The last weekend in October saw something new happening at Townley Park. It's the new Burnley Nature Festival. There was lots of things going on, with activities for people of all ages, demonstrations by local interest groups, and lots to do for children, all around the theme of nature. Alexis Turner is the coordinator for the Nature Festival, and we caught up with her midway through the afternoon.
Burnley Nature Festival is launching what we're calling our Outdoor Town Vision and Outdoor Town campaign, which is basically just encouraging people to get outdoors. And the outdoors doesn't mean just the green spaces like our fabulous parks, but it could be anything beyond your doorstep. Because we know that getting outside is great for our physical and mental well-being. So the Nature Festival is kind of launching this campaign, and what we wanted to do was just bring together all the different organisations that are working in and across the borough that offer outdoor opportunities, whether that's kind of guided walks, river dipping. We've just got lots and lots on offer across the borough, and a lot of people don't really know about it. So the Nature Festival has brought together all the partners offering outdoor activities, so if people have enjoyed what they see today, they can carry on doing it and taking part with those organisations, because a lot of the activities on offer are absolutely free. So yeah, that's what we're here to do today, is showcase all those fabulous organisations working together.
Guided walks on identifying fungi and foraging for berries took visitors through Townley's woods.
We're just at the Burnley Nature Festival with this wonderful gang of folks, going for a forage in the woods to see what trees, mushrooms and plants and whatever else we can find that's exciting to learn about.
The last activity of the afternoon was the glow walk through the woods. Finally, I asked Alexis how successful the event had been.
It's great to see how popular today's been. You can see people just walking up the avenue. The park is bustling, and it's just great, especially this time of year when people tend to go back into kind of hibernation for the winter. We've used the Nature Festival to really draw people back outdoors into our parks and open spaces.
November 18th, and Burnley held its annual light parade ahead of the Christmas lights switch on, led by the brilliant Batala Lancaster drummers. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed Newsreel 23. You can find out more about Burnley Film Makers on our website at www.burnleyfilmmakers.org. We also have a Facebook group and a YouTube channel.